When the crowd disappears, when the voices that once cheered you fade into silence, a choice confronts you. Most men crumble when the scaffolding of support is taken away. They confuse encouragement with strength, and when the applause ends, so does their fire. You must be different. Loneliness is not your downfall, it is your forge. Isolation strips away the illusions of dependency and reveals the raw truth of who you are. In that silence, you learn that the only hand that can lift you is your own. You discover that the only approval that matters comes from the reflection staring back at you. Alone, you are forced to stand taller, to think sharper, to move with a decisiveness that cannot be faked. Solitude is not punishment. Solitude is where kings are built. Without support, you become dangerous because you stop seeking permission. Every decision becomes final, every action sharpened, every failure owned. You cannot point to anyone else when you stumble, and that accountability turns into ruthless clarity. Others who rely on help hesitate, second-guess, and retreat because they fear standing without someone to hold their hand. You have no such luxury. Your path is brutal in its simplicity. You either move or you die. That kind of clarity terrifies those who live in comfort, because they know they would not survive without their web of safety. You, however, have nothing to lose and everything to claim. This is why the man who rises alone cannot be stopped. The world tries to shame the lone wolf. They say you need networks, allies, endless collaboration. They will disguise dependency as wisdom and call your solitude arrogance. They do this because your existence exposes their weakness. You do not need their approval. You do not need their crutch. You are proof that self-reliance still exists, and that proof unsettles them. Men tied to support systems are fragile. Remove their praise and they break. Remove their audience and they vanish. Remove their comfort and they fold. The man who rises alone is untouchable, because he already lives without what others fear to lose. When you stand without support, every ounce of your strength is real. No one propped you up. No one padded your failures. No one absorbed your blows. Every scar belongs to you. Every victory belongs to you. There is no confusion about who did the work or who deserves the crown. Support often dilutes achievement, but solitude purifies it. Your rise is undeniable because it was carved from nothing but will. This is why the man who rises alone earns a presence that cannot be faked. People feel it in the weight of his silence, in the gravity of his words, in the certainty of his actions. He has lived through the storm with no umbrella, and because of that, he fears nothing. The absence of support does not make you weak, it frees you. It frees you from compromise, from the politics of pleasing, from the chains of other people's expectations. You do not move slower because you must check with others. You do not shrink because you fear their disapproval. You are faster, sharper, more decisive because your only loyalty is to the mission itself. Dependence on others dilutes vision. Independence crystallizes it. When you rise alone, your vision becomes absolute. You no longer live half, built by the opinions of others. You live forged entirely by your own conviction. That conviction is iron. Rising alone will not be easy, but ease was never the goal. You will endure nights where the silence feels heavy, where the lack of encouragement gnaws at your spirit. You will want someone to tell you it will be fine. No one comes. That emptiness becomes your test. Do you fold or do you push forward without applause? If you push, the silence becomes fuel. You stop waiting for validation and start becoming validation itself. You stop begging for reassurance and start building results so undeniable that no reassurance is required. Pain sharpens. Solitude strengthens. The man who learns to rise without support will never again be dependent on it. No support, no problem, rise alone. That is the creed of the relentless. That is the law of those who refuse to be tamed. While others drown in their need for comfort, you thrive in the absence of it. While others fall apart without praise, you turn silence into steel. You will not be stopped because you no longer ask for help. You no longer need their scaffolding. You no longer seek their hand. You walk into the fire willingly, and when you emerge, the world will understand the truth. They never made you. You made yourself. And that kind of man cannot be broken.